Hello YouTube, it's been about 3 weeks since I received my fold, so I thought I'll give a view of how I found using it myself. We've got to start from the outside, so before we do any of that, I'm going to unbox this. Before I do that, actually, if you haven't seen my unboxing and first impressions video, I do go through quite a lot about the phone. In addition to the unboxing and comparison of the pens and things like that, so check that out as well. But let's get straight into this video. So I want to start looking at the phone from the outside inwards. So we're going to start with the cases in this case. No pun intended. Nice, unfold. Samsung logo at the top there, and just open that quickly. So I got this directly from Samsung themselves, and it's just very well wrapped. And all this packaging just for that. Look at all that. All the packaging. There's some paperwork as well, but we'll look at that later. Okay. So this is what I've ordered, and I will take you through. I said I'm going to describe the phone and show you how I've used it and what it looks like from the outside in. Now let's start with, I might break something here. I'm being a bit rough. Okay. This is what I want to get out. So these two things here. So let's start with this case. I mean, I talked about this and I say that Samsung had given it to me free, including the pen, also including the brick charger thing. There was a third thing as well that I got free from Samsung. It was just a package that came with that, and you will see that in the unboxing video. Now I have to remind you that some years back, Samsung used to do these covers, and this was made of plastic. Now it's kind of loose material, feels like cardboard, but it used to be very hard plastic. And what used to happen, and I think this was during the times of maybe the Galaxy S6 or before that, because I remember I bought one of the S-line devices, and what used to happen is the corners were curved. So each time the phone was like this, the corner of the phone right here was scratched, and it was Samsung's genuine cover that was doing that. So I think they moved from that and they decided to make this cover here. But I can tell you as well that because it moves like this, and I'll tell you the reason why I keep my screen screen protectors on. That's one of the reasons, because this moves, whether it's in your pocket or you're just walking about, it moves and tends to rub whatever material is here. But it's not as bad as the first one that came from Samsung, which was curved here, and as I said, was hard plastic and used to cause all sorts of scratch marks here. I remember my phone within 2 weeks, a brand new phone, already had marks, and I don't like marks on phones, so I was really irritated by that. And it was also, as I said, Samsung's genuine things. And now let's look at this. So if you put it down, one of the things that you will notice, it does this. It's supposed to cover there, but because the pen seems to be heavy, it then falls on its side like that, and that triggers the phone. It wakes up the screen, and that obviously consumes battery. So because this is a cover that's responsive, if you do that, it wakes up the screen. So sometimes I find that when it's like that, it's waking up the screen and it's draining the battery unintentionally. So that's one of the drawbacks of the cover. So that's the first thing I'll talk about. There are quite a few more I need to cover. Its sheer bulk and weight is just astonishing. It makes the phone feel very heavy when it's not, particularly if you're going to compare with something like this. You know, this is very, very light material, very, very light. Whereas if you look at this, it makes the phone feel bulky. And the trouble with that is, you know, while the phone itself is narrow and easy to carry and hold in the hand, because of this, it feels like, you know, it's in the same realm as the uh, Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. So while I would have said that if you have the phone, just the phone without the cover, like this is very narrow, fits nicely in the pocket. But if you have this, it makes it very heavy. And one of the side effects of that is that because it's so heavy, it quickly falls out of the pocket. So you could see, you put it in your pocket and you sit in the car. I can guarantee it's going to slide out because it's heavy. It pushes itself out of your pocket and lands on the floor. The other thing about this cover is that when I'm holding, sometimes I hold my phone like this in one hand, and I forget that this moves. So I'm holding it like this, and I find myself going like this. Did you see that? If you kind of pull this, it moves the. I'm doing it slow motion here. You pull the pen unintentionally, the phone's gonna go like that. So sometimes I find that I go and I'm nearly dropping the phone because of the way it's constructed here. Let's look at the other things. The other thing that it does is it block. If you wanted to take a selfie using the powerful cameras in the back, this cover is not going to allow you to do that because it's going to be very difficult. Let's try and do that now. So if I open here and I want to use the external cameras, what I'm supposed to do is go into the camera app and click on the top right corner here on this icon there. So just click on that, and then it allows me to view. So let's have a look. It allows me to view a selfie that I'm taking. So in that way, you can see the cover is a problem already. If I do that, it's blocking the cameras. If I do that, then I can't see what I'm doing, and I can't keep it in the middle if I'm trying to take a picture at the same time. So it's a problem. So that's one of the reasons why I decided to kind of take the time to take you through what this is like. This thing is also not very great because when you place it on the let's see, let's open it. I think what I'm trying to show you is if you open it like this and you're placing it, because of the pen, this is what happens. So it's not a nice thing. While you can take it out, let's see if we can do that now. You're supposed to be able to slide this out like that. So you can take it out, and then you don't have that problem where it kind of sits in the middle. It looks more comfortable moving this way, whereas if the pen is there, it tends to be halfway through the phone. So this might be the way to go. Less bulky, still narrow, fits in the hand nicely. So that's another way of doing this. The reason I like this cover, so there's some positives to it. The reason I like it is because you can protect the front of the screen, but you can also protect this, which you will see when we use these. They don't really protect the hinge area. The other thing is that the back is also protected, but so does that one. And a little bit of the side is protected, so does that one. In fact, I think the other one does a better job because it covers these as well. So apart from the fact that it's bulky and may cause debris to scratch your screen, what I would advise is that if you're going to use this, probably don't want to be carrying this right there as well, because you might drop your phone unintentionally, as I've demonstrated. Now, the other thing I just wanted to talk about is you can still see that I've got screen protector here, and I will keep this screen protector on just because of the things I've talked about. If you use a cover like this, you definitely must keep your screen protector on, because anything falls on there, I showed you that it moves. Also, if anything goes in here, because it's loose here, it will move, and that's not good. Now, the other thing to just address is the actual middle here. Again, I prefer to keep the screen protector on this bit. So sometimes people say that the crease is more pronounced. You can see it certainly if the phone is dark like this, but also remember, if you've got a screen protector, it makes it more pronounced. But actually, as you will see when we look at videos and things like that, you forget. I forget I've got a crease in there until I run my fingers and I feel the depth. So that's one thing to bear in mind. Now, while we're still going around the phone, I'll show you something else. So, you can always grab these microfiber cloths to clean your phone. So the Note 20 Ultra has got glass protecting the camera, a single piece of glass. You can just go like this. Well, what I'm finding is that you can't actually use cloth and other things to clean here. You see, there's no piece of glass that covers all three cameras. They're individually made and they've got these pronounced metals around them. There's metal surround on each of them. And what tends to happen is if you use anything like a cloth to clean it, it gets stuck. There's actually space between the housing of the phone and these metal rings. And you'll see that I can guarantee if you go and do that on your phone now, you will see that some stuff gets stuck around there. So there's no good way of cleaning it quickly like this. You've got to kind of take your time and make sure you clean around the metal. The metal is actually pronounced, it goes over the lens. So that's why debris is able to get underneath. So that's another thing that I thought I would just raise. It's not a very good way of having these cameras set up. It would have been nice to have one single piece of glass like they've been doing with the other phones. The other thing I observed, so for dramatic effect, I actually had it connected, but it's come off. I've got a piece of thread here, and if I do that, hopefully we can do it without too many attempts. If not, then I'll just talk about it. So there you go. So you can see here, there is a piece of metal as part of the construction here that hangs there, as well as on the other side where you can actually look at this. I can put a thread and lift the phone up and down. Now I just wanted to show you because again, when you're cleaning, things get caught with that. It's like a sharpish metal pin. So things will get caught there, things will get caught there, and at the back, as I've shown you. Now the other thing is just an observation. I looked at the speakers. They're very good speakers actually. So here, I don't know if we can see that properly. And also at the top there. Let's see if I put the screen on. Maybe we might see better. I probably won't be able to show you this, but on the speaker right here and underneath the speaker, or where the housing of the plastic here and the housing of the phone meet, there is a gap. It's a visible gap to the point that you can look inside the phone. So I just thought I would point it out to people. It's a design feature. It's not like a fault. There's a gap there that if you were looking, you would be able to see inside the phone. So for dust and things like that, you might want to take extra precaution looking at that specific area or making sure that it's covered. Obviously, the speaker grill is on the outside, but just above it, right there, if you look on your fold, you will see that you can see inside the phone through there. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about. So let's just replace the cover. So as you can see, very, very neat, very kind of portable. It's very good, as I said earlier, in the pocket, but because of how heavy it is, it slides, and also it's a slick surface. So if it was in your pocket, yes, it would definitely fall out when you sit down or things like that. I've actually bought some shorts because it's hot over here currently, probably for a day or so, knowing the weather here. But I've made sure that the pockets can be closed with a button or a zip so that I can put my phone in there without it falling outside. But I've left the plastic here on. I've left the plastic at the front and within on as well. So in terms of that, I think what I need to show you next is how flexible the device is. So some people were asking, I think previous folds, I don't have one, I'm assuming here, could not do this where you can put it in any position and it will hold. The hold is so strong in the middle there that I actually asked a question in my last video about how you were closing your fold. because when it's as you can see, you can do all sorts of ways here. uh, as you could see, if I have it like this, how do I close it without pressing on the screen, which is what I was doing. And some people have just said you can press lightly in the middle here. That's how strong the hinge is. You can't just go like this. You have to kind of make it give way, and then you can close it like this. So you saw the multiple angles you can do, but I will show you YouTube, and then we can look at how it looks on here. So it's one of my videos, so I shouldn't get a copyright on this. But you can see the bump that I was talking about on the Note 20 Ultra that goes here. You can just clean the whole thing and not have a problem. But look at this. So if you wanted to watch this, there's many ways to do this. So let's start with this. You know, I normally watch it like this sometimes, and then I can see, or you can actually go and press this button to make it full screen, and that's what it looks like. Now, I also found that rather than what people would do, which is to have it in this butterfly mode, you can just turn it like this, and you have a much bigger screen. It's unusual because then the folding mechanism is like this, but that's another way. This is another way of looking at it. The other way to do this again is you can just fold the middle, and again you have your screen like that, and you can, and the volume is quite loud. Hopefully very loud. I think I would say it's much better than what I had on the S21 Ultra. So this is really great. Now, as you can see, you have many ways to view. The only other thing I wanted to raise is that obviously you don't want to do this many times, especially without a case, because you're putting this screen on the floor. Depending on how hard your floor is, you don't want to do this many times without a protector. That's my one tip there. The other thing is, even with this way, you would want to have a protector here, because you will soon, if you get used into that habit, you will soon see that you will get scratches all around. So the way I do it is I either have one of these or the new one that I've just received from Samsung, which is this one, is the one I'm going to use, because it does protect the sides. It will make sure that the front screen is raised, so that even if I put it on the front screen, this is what makes contact with the table. Okay, so the other thing I was just going to show you while I'm showing YouTube here was Facebook. So let me just pull it up. Now, what some people complain about is that you look at this video here. It's taking the whole screen, and you can't view it all in one, because if you do this, you're missing the top part. If you do this, you're missing the bottom part. So some people have complained about that, and this is how Facebook looks. But obviously, if you were on the front screen, it looks normal. And the way to make it look normal here is you may have to open up another app, for example. Press and hold and just drag across. And if you do that, it goes to the normal viewing. As you can see the whole thing on the screen now. So that you can do that, or you can just simply close the phone and use the front screen, because it will show you the normal stuff. Now, am I used to the front screen? Yes. It initially, when you use it, you think everything is squashed together. And actually, having used it, I'm asking myself, people are giving these negative comments, because actually it's very good and useful. You do, obviously some people are saying, well, I can't type on it. It's not meant for too much typing here. So let me show you something here that you can do. I think you already know that you can swipe. So let's do a quick typing here. So I'm just gonna type "it works," right? Here we go. It works, and there you go. So you can enable swipe so that you can do that. And to move the cursor, you can do the usual. Nothing is new here. This has always been there. You press and hold, and you can move the cursor wherever you want to pinpoint accuracy. If you try and do it the normal way of punching, you will quickly find out that your thumbs will be too big for the screen and the keyboard. The keyboard here is only useful if you're going to use something like swipe. Otherwise, yes, you will find that it's tiny. But I like the compact nature of this because it's not really shrinking things to a point of insanity. It's actually shrinking things to usable format. So I'm not too worried about that. Let me see if I can show you Facebook again. So this is the same video we were looking at. This is what it would look like. It's really what you used to, but shrunk a little bit. So I don't think there's a problem there with the front screen. So that's the screens covered. Now I'm just going to show you to talk about battery life. So the way I found battery life, if I was to summarize it, is that it's a full day battery. By a full day, I mean you can get anything from 19 hours depending on use to 24 hours. And it's mainly if you're using the phone in the open mode. So I'm currently using, I would say, 60% this way and 40% open, only because I was testing it. I would usually just use the front of the screen probably 70% of the time. But because I had to make sure that I when I came to talk to you guys, I had used the inner bit as well. I was trying to get to 50-50 as quickly as possible. But I do tend to use the outer screen more. And the battery I've had, and let me show you something else that might be helpful here is battery. Okay, there's an issue with the maps app. I'll sort that out later. Let me just go into dark mode because people have said that if you go in there, things look more promising when I'm doing a video like this. Okay, if it doesn't, I'll go back. So you can see here my battery use. It says a full charge will last about 19 hours 18 minutes. Usually I get to 24 really, but let's just look at screen on time. So what I've clicked on there will show. If I click last 7 days just here, you can see here, if I click the first time, I don't think there was a full charge there, but it's 5 hours and 8 minutes. Can we focus on that? It's just 5 hours and 8 minutes. I'll read them out if they're not clear. Second one, 6 hours 42. Then 3 hours 19. I must have been really using the the inside screen. 4 hours 45. 6:15, 4 hours 25, and 5 hours 58. So it's kind of ranging from a low of 4 to a high of 6. So you could say really about, I don't know, 5 in the middle. 5 hours screen on time, and a lot of that is things like TikTok, YouTube, things like YouTube and TikTok. And for that, you also have the screen open. So that's when I've probably been using this to try and get a lot of the use out of the screen open like this. So I think the only thing left is just to do, I don't really like camera comparisons, but I've got a few samples for you to look at. What you will see is initially me running with both. I just left the settings at automatic, and then I took some samples of photos as well using the different ranges of zoom. So yes, let me just put this on quickly. So here we go. I'm not sure which one goes on first, so let's just do trial and error. There you go. Then for this one, yeah. There you go. So you can see here, you're supposed to pull out the tab, I'm sure, and stick this on so it doesn't move. But for now, I've just put it on there for so that you guys can see. But actually what you're supposed to do is just make sure that it sits and doesn't move. And for that reason, then you don't have all those scratches we talked about. It looks rather nice. It's one of Samsung's most expensive cases for this phone. Also on here, I'll probably leave a link in the description. I can't remember the proper name. Yeah, here we go. That's the name there. Quite nice. This is not protected. That's the only disadvantage. This thing brings that protection, whereas this doesn't. This looks slick and doesn't make the phone feel bulky and probably gives you some grip. You know, we were talking about how it could slide out of your pocket. This is very clean, professional looking. Really loving this. I can see why the price. Think it was probably £60 or something like that. Very nice. As I said, you need to stick this on. Again, I would leave the screen protector on here, and I would leave the screen protector on there as well. So things like the S Pen, I will do a separate video, but just to let you know that when I've tried it, let's just do a quick demo here. Let's open a new note. So when I've tried, oh, okay. So that's how dark mode works. Okay, fine. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a normal note, but this is probably because of dark mode. What I saw was that I could do palm rejection very easily. So let's try and do that. So let's get a pen. This, as you can see, my palm is on the screen. And yeah, it's writing properly. There is a groove there. People will moan and groan about it, but to be fair, you don't even notice. You saw me writing there. I didn't have a problem. I don't think it's an issue at all. You know, if you want a folding device and you know that the technology is evolving, this is something to expect. So I wouldn't groan and moan much about it. So I'll do a separate pen video, but you can what I wanted to demonstrate for this particular video was palm rejection is great. The pen is very good in the hand because it's bigger than the one for the Note. Let's see. And I'm expecting that if I try and use this on the screen, it will warn me. Let's just, yeah, look at that. Immediately tells me only use S Pen designed for your Galaxy Fold. Other S Pens will damage the screen. If you're using an S Pen Pro, set it to Z Fold mode before using it on your Fold. So that's great because it stops people being silly and using the other pen on there. But as you saw, the S Pen Pro is much bigger. It will go somewhere there. So I will be using it because I like to see if the gestures work and things like that, because you could actually set your device and just tell it to record selfies and do things like that, or play your music without touching the device, just using the pen. So we want to see if that's still working properly on this device, and I'll do something separately. Multitasking is the same as you would expect on the Note, except that they've added a few other things. You can resize windows and you can do other things. You can have this thing called flex mode, where if you are playing media, so if you're playing Spotify and you fold like this, then you got music controls down here while it's playing on that screen. So you have yeah, you have some other things that they've introduced here that I knew, but you probably know all about that now. What I wanted to share was my own use of the device. So my final thoughts are, this is a very good device. I am keeping this. I think it's a really, really, really good device, and that's coming from somebody who uses the Note and values the Note. And the Note is obviously for me the best device ever made, best value for money, best equipment on it, the latest, the greatest on the Note. And I can see what Samsung are trying to do with this, and I like the innovation. But you will see, I think I included some samples from the selfie camera that you'll be able to see as well. But yeah, the device been great. No damage yet. I haven't seen any scratches out. It's been my daily driver for nearly 3 weeks now. Um, and it's incredible. I do wish that I had more optical zoom because I take a lot of photos and I like them to be high quality. Optical zoom on this I think is only 2x. I prefer that the digital went up to 50. Doesn't even need to be 100, just maybe 30. It goes up to 10. I would have wanted it to go up to 30. Otherwise, I've got no complaints. Incredible device. If I had to order again, I would. If would I recommend this? 100%. Great device. I still say that it's got some way to go before I can look at it as accomplished as a Note device. So that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day.